is Jolene Stevens, and I am the founder of Practically Magic, an app that helps you create beautiful professional itineraries quickly. And one of the great things about Practically Magic is all of the Disney and Universal libraries are already in there. So all of the attractions, all the restaurants, all the resorts, everything is already in there. So it makes it super easy for you to create detailed or maybe semi-detailed itineraries for your clients. The other great thing is that you can duplicate itineraries. So you make one, and then if you have similar families, duplicate, customize, and you're on your way. Let me show you a little bit more. This is an example of an itinerary. As you can see, there is a trip overview. Anything that has a time associated with it will be pulled up into the trip overview. So this includes things like flights, ground transportation, dining reservations. Also, if you create any activity and you assign it a time, like 7 a.m., make your first lightning lane selection, that will also get pulled up into the trip overview. And you can see this is just the top of the first page. When you start going through, you're going to see more details. Like, for example, this confirmation number for their flights, the confirmation number for ground or their check-in. And as you keep going through, you'll see more information in the completed itinerary. Now let's talk about how to create these itineraries. You'll see this is the app, and I have already added air, but let's say I wanted to add ground. All I need to do is go away, and we see away we go transportation. I can just drag and drop that in there. Now I can also do Disney's Yacht Club where they are staying, and what you'll see is right down here. One of the things that I want to bring your attention to is you'll notice that there is a little notes icon right here, and what that means is that I've added a note for that entry that is going to show up anytime I use that entry. And this one I just did as an example that says Yacht and Beach Club are connected. Now, when I open it up from here, you'll notice that it defaults to the dates that I have input for the trip dates. Now, if they're doing a split stay, it's super easy to just go in there and change the days to the day that they are going to check in and check out. This one, they're going to do the 22nd through the 28th. I do need to put a confirmation number in here. All entries do not require a confirmation, but when it comes to resort stays, it is a required field. Now, if I want to go in here and add a time, I just go ahead and click on the edit button and I add the time. You'll notice this is one of the entries that you do not have to put a confirmation number in. If you have it, obviously it's super helpful to your guest for reference. So you'll see that now I've created this. Each one of these items would show up in that trip overview because each one of them has a time. Now, what else I want to show you is I'm going to go to a different trip. Let's go into the lightning lane strategies. Here you will see I have created a really exhaustive, detailed itinerary. Now, do you have to do this? No, certainly not. But if you do make detailed itineraries, it makes it much easier for you to create a detailed itinerary because every attraction at Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando are already in there. And so let's say actually I wanted to make sure that I hit all the Fantasyland. So if I go into Fantasyland, you'll notice everything that is in Fantasyland pops up. And this also includes things like Be Our Guest restaurants and quick service restaurants for that matter. But you can go through and make sure that you've hit all the things that you want to. And all you need to do is go ahead. Let's say I want to add Barnstormer or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I can take Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, pull it in here. And let's say I wanted to tell my guests like, hey, you should purchase this as an individual lightning lane. When you open it up, it has this little toggle switch. And what you will see in the PDF is before the name of the attraction, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it will say lightning lane. So it helps really identify what you recommend. Now, because lightning lanes are changing all the time, but Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right now is an individual lightning lane, I would probably make a note on this saying this would have been purchased at 7 a.m. and that I would recommend a time associated with that. Now you can see up here that I've already given them the instructions for this at the very top of this itinerary. And this is the sort of entry that I would save to my content library. So it's super easy. You can just update the notes to the content library and that will automatically now be in my content library for any itinerary I do in the future. So the other really neat thing about this app is it really helps you if you are moving things around. So let's say my client wants to change their Hollywood Studios day to Sunday, and all we need to do is grab it and switch it around. Now, what you'll notice is a couple of things over here have been added, this red 2, and then you'll see that it is also highlighted in the main page. The reason for this is that there was something with the time associated with it that the app wants to say, hey, you've changed the date. Do you want to reconfirm? This works for things like activities and park hours, but it also works for things like dining reservations or hotel reservations. And it's a really nice, because as our clients change, it's nice to have something to say, hey, you need to reconfirm this. So once I go in and reconfirm, you'll see that red 2 went away. So it's a very handy thing. The other thing that I want to kind of show you is this is really a generic itinerary that I've created. You'll notice on the arrival day, there's no ground and there's no planes and there's no resort information. And the reason that I did that is because I wanted to create a generic itinerary that I could go and duplicate. So when I go down here, this is the lightning lane strategy, the one that we were just in. What you can do is go to it, duplicate trip. And now let's say I want to put the Greer family trip, and I can go ahead and save that. Now, once I have that saved, what I'm going to do is go in and change the date. So let's say they're actually doing this in November instead of October. And then I just click that and voila. Now, when I go into it, again, you're going to have all of these kind of notifications of saying, hey, there were things here that had times associated with it. You're going to need to make sure that Magic Kingdom early park entry is the same on this date as it was in your original trip. So, really, really helpful, super time saver to be able to really duplicate an entire trip. So you make one template for, let's say, your families with little ones that are going to Walt Disney World. Do it once and then duplicate. You can customize from there. And then a couple of the things that I want to show you. So when we go into any of these, like I said, the content library for Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando and actually Disneyland are already in here. So all you need to do is start typing. So if I want to say Harry Potter and look for everything that has Harry Potter in it, you'll see that it already starts popping up. So all you need to do is start typing and you'll find the content library that is provided by Practically Magic. Now, if you have things outside of Disney that you want to add, you can do that. So you have an entire content library that is specific to you. So let's say you tell guests to go to Columbia Restaurant in Celebration, Florida, or let's say there's a specific resort in Miami that you put people at before they do the Disney cruise. You can add that to your own content library. All you do is go up here and you click the drop down, and you'll see activities, attractions, restaurant, lodging, ground, cruises, and notes. You can choose any of those and create them in your own content library. Now, as far as agency owners, if you are an agency owner, you will have this agency content, and what you will see in here is anything that you create will show up in your agent's content library as well as your own. So this really is just for agency owners. You'll see this. The other thing that I'll show you is how do you get that as an agency owner. When you go into your agency detail, there is a toggle switch. If you are an individual agent, you can toggle it so that's turned off. And then if you are an agency owner, you want that to be on. If you're an agency owner, one of the things that it will do is whatever logo you upload to the app here will show on all of your agents' itineraries. So it helps you kind of make sure that you have streamlined branding on your itineraries. Now, how else you are able to customize it is when you go into your account, these fields are pulled and they are put on the bottom of each page of the itinerary. So we'll have the email, your name, and your phone number on the bottom of each page of the itinerary. Again, if you are an agency owner, you will have this tab. If you are not an agency owner, you will not have that tab. And that tab is just a place where you can go in and you can add agents. Now, if your agent already has an account, you can just add their email and they will be linked up with your agency. Currently, the way that billing works, it's $15 a month, and each individual user is billed, even if they're linked into an agency. I should have more options for this coming out this year, but right now it's each individual agent. So I hope this gives you a good overview of what you can create with Practically Magic, how you can save time by creating and then just duplicating, modifying, and customizing. If you have any questions or would like me to take you through any of this in greater detail or a little bit slower, please let me know. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. And I hope that I find you as a user.